You are now listening to Crash Talk Podcast with Dennis Lopez and April Capati.
I think they're ready.
Before we start, we want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed, commented, followed, liked, shared, all of that good stuff. We really appreciate it. We love to see the feedback and love hearing the feedback that you guys been giving us. We weren't really expecting it the way it was going. But yeah, we love it and we appreciate it very much. So continue to subscribe, continue to like, comment, share, all that good stuff. I know it takes a lot to create an account and all that bullshit, but we would really appreciate it. Today's podcast is parenthood.
Well, I just wanted to start with like how it all started, my experience, like from being pregnant to now. Finding out, I was like scared at first. I mean, who isn't? I mean, I guess, I don't know. I was just scared because, I felt like my mental health at the time wasn't as great. So I was thinking, bringing him into this world, like, am I going to be okay or is my mental health going to get worse? But I guess I tried to just look at the positives just so I don't scare myself even more and stuff like that. Also, Instagram played such a big role in scaring me during my pregnancy because, there's like so many things of like so many information you have to take in. First from pediatricians, now Instagram, where like all these Instagram parents are saying, do this, don't do this, and this is what you should do, this is what blah, blah, screen time, co-sleeping, all this stuff. And it's like, what if that doesn't work though? Like in my head when I was pregnant, I'm just like, what if it doesn't work? Then what? What am I supposed to do if it doesn't? Or, stuff like that.
Yeah, with I think with the social media, if you guys are looking at it, I'm not going to say that we weren't looking at it before he was born. We still do. And before he was born, I would send you videos and we'll be like, oh, we got to do it this way because, it looks like it's working for them. And, you think it's easy. You think it's that easy to copy somebody, but then he or she comes and then it's a whole different story because not all babies are the same. Not all parents are the same. So everything that we shared with each other and everything that I sent you, like it all flew out the window. Cause I remember I even made it like a little, on the saved, like a folder for like parent hacks or something. And I like saved like 2 videos and then it was like, it's not working out. Cause I didn't even have time to even look at it. Cause I was just like, whatever I know, I'm just going to do it. And that's what it is. But as you were saying, Instagram influencers or like the Instagram parents, if you are a new parent or becoming a new parent, take those Instagrams very lightly.
You don't need to follow their aesthetics and stuff like that.
Because for me, I say that they word things very wrong. They tell you what not to say to children, but this should be like what you should not say to the parents, the adults, because you telling a parent don't do this and you can't do that and you shouldn't do this, like maybe you should word it a different way instead of trying to scare them, because I think those words are terrifying to new parents, especially ones who are very nervous about being a new parent. Those words can creep you out. So saying like, don't pick up your legs, babies. Pick up your legs, babies. Don't pick up your baby's legs up like this when changing the diaper. And then now when you go and change the diaper, you're going to be very, cautious and scared to like put them this way. And it's kind of like, it's just like, do what you do and how you do it. Just be careful how you do it. And that's it. But yeah, I just don't like the fact that the influencers or the Instagram people put those words in bold letters too, because do not do this, and it's like those bold letters are do something actually. Like that's a marketing trick. Like putting bold letters like that gets you. So, you know, all in all, first time parents or expecting parents, just take these Instagrams very lightly, because
take it with a grain of salt, because not everything works for everyone. You know,
and it's gonna creep you out, and you're just gonna have a tough time. You know, like this whole birth and this whole experience is for you to experience. You know, you could take their advice, but just take it very lightly, because you know you should be doing this the way you do it. And not saying that there's no Instagrams that are helpful, because there are some, you know, that we see them and we use some of their tips and tricks, but then there's some, like I said, that just like why would you even say something like that to, you know, you have all these new parents looking at you to see how you do it, and you tell them like this way, and it just like fucks up their whole head. But yeah, that's a little my take when I say about the Instagram parents and stuff like that.
It was scary seeing all that, you know, there's like so much information to take in and all this stuff. And then, but once he was earthbound, it was like everything just clicked, kind of, you know, where it's like, you know, I've seen all this and heard things from pediatricians, and it's like, but you feel like you kind of know what to do already, even though as fragile as he was, you know, it's very like, it kind of just clicks sometimes. I know there's some who I've seen videos and I've heard stories about how some people feel like disconnected sometimes, which is fine, because you know, you just gave birth, you're still healing, like mentally and physically, from giving birth or having a C-section is very traumatic, you know. So I feel like if you don't feel a connection right away too, that's okay. And if you do, that's great too. So I just feel like don't feel discouraged, I guess.
Connection with the baby? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, but yeah, so pretty much like seeing him for the first time, it kind of all just clicked. So seeing all those videos, like I was scared, but you know.
And I also do want to say, like, you know, when you see these like pregnancies, you know, when the baby comes out and stuff, just because I've seen it on Instagram, I saw some couple videos, that just because you don't cry when the baby's out doesn't mean that you don't have no love for it. Sometimes you're just in awe, or you're in shock, or sometimes you not everyone needs to cry. Like I didn't cry.
We didn't cry,
and it didn't mean that I wasn't excited for him to come. I was just like, this shit is real. Like he's really here, you know, waiting for 9 months, and like now he's here. So, you know, don't think bad of yourself. Like, oh man, I didn't cry when he or she came out. Like, I feel bad. I didn't think that was a thing, and actually seeing it on, you know, these social medias, that, oh shit, that is a thing. Like, people do really beat themselves up if they didn't cry when they first came out, or didn't feel a certain type of way. It was just like, you know, you just might be in shock. You just might be, or you might be overly happy that you can't cry. You're just you have so much joy. So, you know, that too, when you're expecting this new child, don't beat yourself up either that, you know, you didn't cry when he came or she came. Just go with the flow. You know, he's here, he or she's here now. Have fun.
Yeah. Oh, about that too. I was going to say, like, it's okay to not cry, and then here I have written, it's okay to be emotional.
Yeah, you can be emotional or not cry. Like,
yeah, it's not, well, for like, in my take of like him being here already, you know, it's okay to be emotional. Actually, also being pregnant, it's okay to be emotional because you have all these hormones and stuff, you know, and then it's okay to feel your feelings. I feel like a lot of people think that you need to be tough, you need to have such a thick skin, you need to not cry, you need to, you know, stuff like that. And it's like, no, like, you need to sit with your feelings. You need to, you know, because if you hold it in, then what? You're just a ticking time bomb. Let your feelings out. If you can't talk to someone, write it down. And, you know, I just don't like that saying, like, you need thick skin. Like, I just feel like people tell you to have a thick skin is because so they can disrespect you, and so you can just take it and not, like, say anything back to them or, like, retaliate. And that's why I hate that. Like, you need thick skin. Like, first of all, I'm an emotional person. I like to feel my feelings. Please don't tell me to change that. That makes me who I am. So, you know, pregnant or when your kid is here, it's okay to feel emotional. It's fine. Like, just, I think just older generation too. It's always like, oh, you need to be tougher. You need to be this. And it's like, no. To me, it's okay.
And you shouldn't be afraid to tell your mothers, your mother-in-laws, you know, father-in-laws, father, anything, because this is your, you know, this is your child, this is our child, and they should respect that. They shouldn't have to. It shouldn't be a problem, or they shouldn't put these burdens on you or disrespect you, because at the end of the day, you're the one that's taking care of it. You know, they have, of course, a lot of people have something to say when they're not taking care of what's not theirs. Yeah. You know, and not to say that, you know, I mean, our parents, they'll tell us what to do, and because, you know, they had us, so they, you know, they have like some experience, but whatever experience you have or they had is nothing like what it is today. Yeah. Whatever they did back then might not work today, you know.
It's because it's a new world. It's a new generation.
Fucking babies are advancing. Like, they're advancing. These humans know how to use a fucking iPad right before they know how to walk or some shit. Like, you know, like, insane. It's crazy. So, you know, don't be afraid. I want to say, don't be afraid of setting boundaries, sticking up for your person, you know, and your kid. And I'm not saying curse your parents out and shit, but, you know, talk to them, pull them to the side, like, hey, look, she's not feeling the way you are speaking to her, and, you know, we'd appreciate it if you just back off a little bit. Like, you know, there's ways to be polite with these things, but don't just go in there and just be like, yo, don't fucking talk to her like that. Like,
unless they obviously cross the line or out of pocket. Like, okay, now if you want to take it there, I'll take it there. But setting those boundaries means, like, you know, this is your family that you have to protect, and especially anything negative or anything like bad energy, you don't want that around your family. So you do what you can to set those boundaries so nothing like that is, like, you know, around you. Yeah, especially for your kid, you don't want that.
And these kids, you know, they feel the energy. They feel it. If you have bad energy, they don't want to be carried by you. You know, if you are sad, they feel that. Like, I believe in energy. I believe in all that frequency shit. So, you know, having the right energy in the house, hearing the right sounds. You know, like, I was like, this has nothing to do with, like, or maybe it does, but I was watching like this theory, or maybe not a theory. It's about how frequencies actually affect the brain. And it was this one where he was talking about, I bet you if you ask anybody what was their favorite year, they would say this specific year. And they were like, what was the specific year? And they said 2016. And I'm like, nah, that's not true. And they said the reason why 2016 was a good year because a lot of good music was coming out. A lot of music was happy music, was party music. And like Lil Uzi Vert came out, 21 Savage. It was all, the beats were very up and going. So then I went and go and tested it. And I was like, I asked my coworker, I was like, yo, what was your favorite year? Like before COVID, before getting free money and all that bullshit. Like, what was your favorite year? And he was like, I would have to say 2016. And I was like, oh shit, okay. Yeah. Then I asked my other coworker, he was like 2015, 2016. And then I asked one of my close friends and I was like, yo, what was your favorite year? He was like 2016 for sure. And I was just like, damn, that's crazy. And they're like, why? And I told them the reason. So, you know, back to, this has to do with the frequencies and energies that these babies feel. It's like having the right energy in the house and playing the right music and, you know, just like feeling happy, genuinely happy, they feel that. And I feel like as they grow and they see that, they become better growing up, you know,
mentally at least.
Mentally, yeah, like confident and all the other extra stuff. Like it's all about frequencies and energy. Like pay attention to that a lot, because you'll definitely see a change in your home and between you and your partner, you know. Like
a lot.
Meditation is good too. Like I want to get back into that, but
I would love to try that. I just feel like I can't.
I mean, it's gonna be hard now with a baby,
but it was hard before. So,
and sorry if I'm looking this way. I'm watching this Lego Fortnite thing while talking to you guys.
There's some things that help us.
Yeah, I have to watch something so I don't get nervous. This helps me think a little bit better.
Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to add, I feel like it might sound bad or people might take it the wrong way, but outside of us, or like outside of your family that you created, is now extended family. You know, like our moms are now extended family, and you know, I feel like some people might take that in a bad way, but it's not. You know, it just means this is our family.
Yeah.
You know, that you created. And I know, like, getting unsolicited advice is always going to happen no matter what. Just like how, you know, Instagram, take it with a grain of salt. So it's like, you know,
and don't take advice from people who don't have fucking kids.
Yeah, because it's always easier said than done.
You know, like there's always someone like, oh, you just put him down, like he's fine, like, you know, you're right there, or this and that. Like if the person doesn't ever have plans to have kids, or doesn't work with kids, or just doesn't have any kids in general, don't take no advice from him. Like don't listen to someone just to say put your kid down right there so we can, you know, do this. Like no, you don't even know the difficulty.
Yeah.
Like how do you don't have a kid, you don't have nothing. Like what makes you think you know what's gonna make my kid happy if I put him down? Like all I know what's gonna happen. He's gonna cry.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? So yeah, that too. You know, there's always gonna be someone trying to give you advice, and take that lightly also. But if they have kids and they've been through it, like then you know you can take it. You can understand it, like, oh no, or ask more questions. But like I said, if someone doesn't have kids or has nothing to do with child development or whatever, tell them to fuck off. Cause
yeah, it's not easy. I mean, you get through it and you learn. You learn your baby. You learn how you work and stuff like that. And so, yeah, whatever they say is just like whatevers. I feel like this is another thing that I feel like we should talk about, because not a lot of people are gonna. Oh my goodness! Oh look, Daddy. Can you say a booga booga booga? Can you get up? Get up. One thing that I feel like we should talk about, because this is I feel like it's such a controversy. You know, there's a lot of people who don't do it and some who do. Co-sleeping.
burp.
We've been co-sleeping since what? He was maybe a month old, or maybe even before. We do it because one, my sleep, like the way I sleep changed. I've become a light sleeper. So every sound, every movement, like I wake up to it. And also because I was exclusively breastfeeding, so it was just so much easier. Oh my goodness, I know. It was just so much easier to have it, or like have him next to me. So it's just like boop, and then he gets hungry again, boop, you know. And also he loves like contact naps. So like I feel like he sleeps longer next to us.
Yeah.
You know, and remember before when we had him in the bassinet, for him to sleep longer, we needed like a shirt that I wore on like somewhere in the bassinet.
Something,
you know?
but even that didn't even work for much either. Like he would
Not
sleep
that
for
long.
maybe for like 10, 15 minutes and then like wake up crying.
Yeah.
So yeah, like add on to her co-sleeping thing, like if it works for you, it works. Like if that's all you can do, and for the baby to sleep, then you got to do what you got to do. I mean, obviously, if it depends on the bed size too. Like you can't have a small bed like a twin size bed.
Oh, he has so much to say today, huh?
You can't have like a twin size bed and expect to sleep with the baby perfectly.
Mm-hmm. And also, you can't like belittle someone for someone to do co-sleeping because you don't know their living situation. What if they only have room for them to sleep on the bed with them? You know, there's other aspects to it where you can't really be, oh, you can't do that, you shouldn't do that. Like it's the only thing that I can do sometimes.
Yeah, like
so it's
listening to the pediatrician, or oh, you can't do that, because it's a dangerous. Like I know what the fucking danger is, but nothing else is working. So I'm not gonna have my baby just crying all night. Like I want him or her to feel good. So if I have to do that, I'm gonna do that. Like I want him to feel safe, and I mean. And also, like I said, it depends on the sleeper. If you're one of those that sleep wild and are sleep heavy and you don't feel nothing or hear nothing, then it's a different story. But, like I've learned to sleep in one position, but I'll move, but I'll be in different positions, but in that same spot, and I feel him. Like I'll always wake up in the middle of the night because I'll feel him on my elbow and I'm like, oh shit, let me move my elbow because I know I'm gonna probably elbow him in the head, and I've done it before. Not hard, okay.
Not hard. I was always awake by that time, so every time I just hear a little like boop, I was like, oop.
I'll wake up like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But like it just depends on the sleeper. It depends on your situation, your bed. If you have a king size bed, that's even perfect. Cali King, you have
must be nice.
If you have a Cali King, you already know how much space you have, so you can put that little thing in the middle.
I mean, they also have like those little like lounger things where it's almost like that, but it's like
or
very
a playpen. If you guys have a playpens, like this is my first playpen, and seeing how much this shit works is like a lifesaver. Not only, and I'm only saying lifesaver for her because she's the one that's home most of the time. So for her to be able to wash dishes and clean and do whatever while he's in there, playing with his toys and stuff, like it helps a lot. It gives her at least maybe a 30-40 minutes, if anything, depending on his mood. But
to have some me time at least too.
But if you decide sleeping with him is a better choice, and maybe you get like a 10x10 playpen, you can get an inflatable mat, and like you can sleep in there. It's gonna help, and it gives you more sense of security because if he's crawling or moving, at least there's a gate.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, cool. He can crawl, move, whatever. But if he's already trying to hop out and you can do it, then you want to do that.
Yeah. Oh, he's good. Yeah. What else? I feel like what else is a good something that might hit home for a lot of people. Maybe like trying to mentally cope with things.
Yeah, that too. I think another.
He didn't press anything, did he?
No. I think another one or something else that can be good. I think not baby wise. I think relationship wise. We've talked about it too. Being a team. Yeah. Oh my God.
He only napped for 30 minutes, so he's active right now.
Being a team. This is not a competition. This is teamwork. This is these babies need both of your helps. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that I thought that way the whole time. I used to think like, oh well, because I go to work and this and that. Like the least you can do is clean up the house and do all this and blah blah without me even thinking like how hard it is to actually take care of a newborn and the challenges it comes with. So, you know,
it took a while.
It took a while, and for the dads, I'm gonna speak for the dads. Like, you know, it's not a competition. Don't think it, because if you're starting to think that it's a competition, then maybe having a child was the wrong idea for you. It's not who he's gonna pick, who or she's gonna pick as the favorite. Like, none of that. You guys have to work together, and the sooner you figure it out, the better. You know, because it could damage a lot of things in your relationship. It could really mess up their mental health too.
Yeah. Let's try to put him in the playpen because this fool is active.
But yeah, like, teamwork. It could, you know, destroy your significant one's mental health if you start treating it as a sport or like a game. They're already, you know, she's already going through enough, and me over here thinking that it's simple. Like, you have a life, like you get to be home and, you know, not working and just taking care of the kid, when really it's a full-time job that I don't think that I would have been able to do, you know, like, or maybe I could, but I wouldn't. I would be able to do it, but I wouldn't think it would be that easy, if I'm saying that correct.
Because you could do it, but you would need help.
Yeah, like I would need help. I would think I'm going in and like, this is a breeze. Like, I can do whatever she can do. And then I feel like after a while, I'll probably be like, shit, like, this is not easy. Like, I'm mental overload. I'm overstimulated. Like, you know, and I had to figure it out. I had to, it took time for me to figure that out, but, you know, now I have, and now I understand what she goes through, and, you just got to help, and I'm here to help. And that's what you got to be from the beginning. You know, you got to be here. You got to be there to help.
Yeah. Cause, not only do we have to take care of a little person, you know, we're losing sleep, you know, and I also try to make sure we're not too loud while you sleep, you know, so I'm still losing sleep to take care of him. Also exclusively breastfeeding, you know, at least if people have like, if they're doing bottle feeding, formula feeding, whatever, at least, you know, you can do half and half, or, you know, but exclusively breastfeeding, you know, I have to make sure he's fed, and so I'm losing sleep, and then throughout the day, you know, I have to stay up, you know, and then when he naps, I try to clean or do something, and it is a lot, but, you know, having you like finally understand that, and so we don't, you know, argue about like, oh, the house is dirty, you know, this and that. Like, I do, and I've told you multiple times that, you know, I tried to clean this, but I couldn't. I didn't have enough time. But yeah, you know, go easy on your partner, both mom and dad, because, you know, you go out to work, it's tiring, you know, so that's why I do try my best to make sure the house is clean, so when you come home, you don't have to worry about it. Yeah. Or I let you know, like, oh. Hiya. You know, it's teamwork, but it's not always going to be 50-50. You know, there's times where I'm lacking mentally, so then you would have to like come up with the other percent to, you know, help out. Yeah. Oh. So I'm gonna just say that for you know, relationships aren't always 50-50. You know, sometimes I can't take care of things, so you got to pick up the slack, or if there's things that you can't do, I pick up the slack. That's how teamwork is. It's not always going to be 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be like that.
I feel like that's how. Yeah.
It should have been that way before the baby too. Mm-hmm. Like you guys in a relationship, that should always be. It's not a competition. Is if I can help you out, I'm gonna help you out. If you can help me out, you can help me out. If I ask for help, sometimes it's like, hey, can you help me pay half of this? Sometimes, or most of the time, it's just like, no, I pay it. You don't have to worry about it. Like, I'll do it. But yeah, you have to have that.
Just be careful, because
it's not a competition. Mm-hmm. You have to be there, support each other to support him. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so that's another thing that's important. Expecting and being first-time parents is like, I feel like before going into that next step of having a child, that maybe make sure your relationship is ready for that. Mm-hmm. Don't go in and just like, oh, I want a child because it's a beautiful thing and it's gonna look like me or whatever the case is. Like, no, like go in it and have a good mindset going in it. Yeah. Like, I feel like we had sort of a good mindset going in it, but not the best. Mm-hmm. But now we're working on it as we go. And
we're
I feel
still
like,
learning.
Yeah, and I feel like we've gotten better at it. I feel like we've learned a little bit more about each other, and
I think we also learned to like communicate a little bit better now, especially with him. Trying to get like things done around the house or help with him. I think we've gotten better with communicating, which is good, because our relationship was we weren't that great at communicating, but now it's like, not saying that because of him, we only learned to communicate because of him. Like, we had to. Yeah. It's for the best for all of us. But
it might have been a blessing too. Sometimes you need something to push you to learn more, and he came in our lives, and he taught us that we need to communicate more. We need to be better. Not only for ourselves, but for him too. And now look, he's helped us, and he's only 7 months. He can't even talk. So, like, there's things that you notice, you won't really notice until you sit down and really think about it. And like, oh damn, he really did help us. Like, I wasn't like this before him, and now I'm better.
Especially being patient.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the...
That's what I was just gonna ask you. Like, what was something that you learned or acquired while having him now,
Definitely trying to be mentally better for myself, so naturally I'm better for him, and also being more patient, because there's times where, not saying that they test your patience on purpose, but it does test your patience, like, when there's no way to settle him even after he ate, changed, everything like that. I have to learn how to be calm, because if he's already frustrated and then I'm frustrated, it's like nothing's ever going to be balanced. Yeah. So, being patient for sure, and learning how to calm yourself down. I feel like that one was a big thing for me. Yeah,
I think mine was definitely patience.
Yeah. I mean, we're still learning though.
Yeah. We're still learning. Mine was, but like I said, mine was patience. Like, I used to always tell you, like, oh yeah, I'm patient. Like, I have a lot of patience, and nothing really gets me pissed off or whatever. And then he came, and then I was like, I really don't know what the meaning of patience is. Like, you think you know the meaning of something, and you think you have it down, and it's like, nah, you don't, until something comes and really tests it. And that's what he did, test my patience. And there was times I was just like, oh, like, fuck, man, like, I can't, like, I was like, I can't do this, like, this crying shit is annoying, blah blah. And then eventually and I take time at work to think about these things, because it's like, I only work with 4 people, so I have a lot of time to like think. I'm in my own part of the job, doing my own thing. So, I sit there and I think about it, and I'm just like, I need to get better at this. I need to get better with the patience. And
just gotta make sure he's not freaking eating it.
No, I think it's a strong ass.
Okay.
Box. Being patient, like, I sit there and I think about it, like, he's just a fucking baby. Like, you can't get mad at him. That's what they're doing. They cry. They have to cry.
That's the only way they
That's the way it's the only way they communicate. Like, you have to learn these cues. You have to learn when they're hungry, when they need their pamper changed, or when they just want to be carried, or when they want to play, And it took, I want to say, just recently, I realized that I need to stop getting so aggravated. Like, I need his patience. And this past 2 weeks or a couple weeks, like, I think I've gotten really better at it because I don't get irritated anymore. It's more of me like, fuck, like, what can I do to make him stop crying? Or what can I do to help you to make him stop crying? Like, maybe you don't know what's going on. Maybe I can tell you what to do. So you maybe, oh yeah, let's try that, or you tell me what to do. So yeah, patience is something that definitely gets tested. And if you think you got patience, just wait. If you're expecting a child, there's a lot of other things that can test your patience, but I think having a child tests your patience big time. And just be prepared for that too. Patience is another important thing to have when expecting or having your first child, or even if you're having the second, the third, the fourth, whatever. Like, practice that patience.
Yeah, patience with the baby, and then patience with your relationship. I mean, we're all still learning as new parents too. Like, you would get upset because he's crying, and then I have to take care of him because you got to settle down. And I had to be patient with you too, with that. Like, you're still learning how to be patient. I'm still learning, but it just helps a lot. I think because you had to learn more about being patient, which made me more patient, like, quicker. But yeah, I mean, like, that's like that's a big thing.
And then another thing that I wanted to say is you have to be present. Presence plays a big factor, and I'm only saying it at my part because obviously you're here all the time, so you're present 24/7. But me, because I go to work, 8 hours a fucking day, that I'm not there long enough. I leave to work. I had to be at work at 8, and then I'm off at 4:30. It takes like an hour to get home, and I'm here by 5:30, almost close to 6. So, I have only just a limited time to be here and play with him, and then go back to work and do the same thing again until the weekend comes. And it sucks because in the beginning, I was always wondering, I was like, why, like, he doesn't want to be, he doesn't want me to, like, really hold him as long. He always wants you and all this other stuff. And it just made me, like, not sad. It just made me like, fuck, man, what am I doing? Like, why, why is he not coming to me? And then I'm like thinking about it, and I'm just like, oh, it's your presence, you're not here long enough. Like, you're not utilizing the time that you have. And me thinking I can go back to my regular schedule of going out on Saturdays in the morning and not coming back till 6 o'clock at night, or this and that, and I only have really Sunday to spend time with him. It wasn't working. So I made that decision to where it's just like, what, fuck it. I need to be home. I want him to see me. I want to be with him. And gave up my hobby, which I'm not trying to say like it's a bad thing, like I gave him my hobby because I really wanted to. Like, I was like, you know what, I'm at the age where I'm just like, I don't give a fuck about it anymore. Like, it's not doing nothing for me really. Like, yeah, it made me happy, but like this what makes me happy now. Like waking up to him makes me happy. Being with him all day makes me happy. So I really didn't give up anything. I just found a new hobby. So yeah, presence is a big thing. And now, you know, this fool wants to be with me. Yeah. Like now he calls to me. Now he wants me to hold him. He reaches out for me. You know, all that good stuff, and it feels good. You know, I feel like I accomplished something, and you know, it's a good feeling. Yeah. Seeing that, you know, and I feel like it'll be a good feeling for you guys too when you accomplish that too. Because once you start seeing your baby reach out for you and things, like it's just a feeling I really can't explain. It's just different. Yeah. Because, you know, they're a baby and they don't really know much. But them reaching out to you is like them understanding who you are. Yeah. Like you are my dad and
you're my protector.
And like I'm your protector, and that's that, you know. And it's just like cool. He understands who I am, and he understands that I'm gonna do whatever I can to protect protect him. And
this little fool.
This little fool. And if I have to protect him, if I have to go to jail, like I'm gonna go to jail. But you know, it's just a good feeling. Like I said, it's hard to really explain, but
I think also what I've seen within you is that are you pooping, sir? Being present is good, but also being mentally present, because you can be in the room and be present, but if you're not like interacting, like it makes it's a whole different thing, you know. But I've noticed is that you became more mentally present with him too, not just like holding him and, you know, sitting with him, but you're actually like interacting with him, playing with him and stuff like that. And you being mentally present became such a big difference in him, because now he does gravitate towards you, you know. And I think that's one thing too, is if you're going to be present, I think being mentally present is plays a big factor too. Like you can't just sit in the room and be like, oh well, I'm here with you. You gotta really be there, you know. Yes, my love. Hi. Hello, sweet pea. He's smiling. He pushed you.
I was just talking about having you gravitate toward me, and then you just pushed me out of the way.
I wonder.
Jesus.
Yes. Oh, it's funny now? It's funny now? You want that? You want that? Are you hungry? Okay, let's try to eat.
The being present thing, like what you're saying, like being there mentally, you know, being on your phone, like, yeah, I'm still on my phone, but I'm on my phone when he's already fixated on something. Yeah. If he's fixated on playing with a toy, then I'm not going to bother him. Yeah. Because he's fixated on playing with that toy. But when he's like crawling on me and trying to get my attention and stuff, then, you know, I'm off my phone because obviously he wants me to play with him, or he wants me to do something with him. So you got to do it. But, you know, if your kid is doing that and you're just still on your phone on Instagram, like, I get it. I can see how bad that is, you know, like
you're just present. I don't know if I've told you, but I think I've gotten mad one time or upset that, you know, he was there and you were just on your phone. But this is when he wasn't even crawling yet. You know, to me, I was just like, why aren't you like talking to him or something? But it didn't last long. But I was just like, you know, you got to be present. Yeah. Like not just, oh, I'm going to sit next to you and that's it. I feel like maybe at that time, it was because there was like a disconnect that he would just, because he was breastfeeding. So I guess, you know, but being present is such a.
Being present is a big deal, you know.
Now we see like.
Even with moms, even though that you are with them 24/7, but being on your phone 24/7 too is also a bad thing. unless, you know, he's breastfeeding or he's napping, then, you know, take that. But if he's trying to play with you, touch your face and like move around, like that means that you need to, you know, put
He
your
has my full attention.
your attention on that. And you know, just I can see that it was another video on Instagram. Remember that it was like a split screen. It was like the dad that paid attention and the dad that just like shoot him off like while he was on his phone. Like just seeing how the kid reacted to it, and like he was on the couch and he wanted to play with him and he just shoot him off, and then the kid went to just go play by himself. Like you may think that, oh, because I shoot him off and he's just playing by himself, like nothing is wrong.
Okay, yeah.
Like that eventually goes with them as they grow.
Yeah, they're gonna think that you don't care to be with them. And stuff
the
like
more
that.
you do that, the more they start to think, oh, he doesn't want to be bothered, so I'm not gonna play with him. I'll go play by myself. And it shouldn't be that way, you know. And it sucks to see that, and that's what I'm trying not to do. And I think it's an easy thing for me not to do because, you know, I always think about my dad, and I always think about what he did to make sure we always had fun.
Yeah.
And every weekend I already knew what the thing was. It was the same plan, but it was just a fun plan because I already knew we're gonna wake up, eat, go to the park, be at the park for most of the day, play basketball. We had a basketball, football, and the skateboard, and we play football, catch for a little bit, go play basketball, go skate, come back, eat. And then we always went to Blockbuster on Saturday night so I can go rent a movie and we go rent a game for the week.
Yeah.
When I come home from school, I get to play the game for an hour, and, you know, that's that. So, you know, that's the type of thing what I'm like want to do with him, and just being there and taking him out, and, you know, he enjoys being outside and going for walks and stuff like that. So, you know, that's always fun. And being like, I know I keep repeating myself, but the presence thing is very important.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
It's very important.
it's just something that you have to do. Not something you want to do. It's something you have to do.
Especially if you want that bond with your child. You know, you can't just be like, oh, here, I bought you some stuff. Bye. You know, it's kind of like, that's it. Like, that's not a bonding thing. Now it's just like, you're just bribing me. So.
Yeah. And like a lot of things is like you shouldn't want. It's like, I got to have this bond. I got to have this for him. Like, it's not want. It's like, you got to have. It's like, this is something you got to fucking do. You know? So, yeah, that's another thing. The 2 P's. Patience and presence. You know? Practice those, and, you know, you'll see a great change in you.
Yeah.
And you'll see as your child grows up the change in them, and how much they want to be with you because you do a lot of things with them and stuff. But like,
Such a good feeling too, having them want you. It's like
especially at a kid's age, you know, because by the time they get 13, 14, 15,
they're not gonna want
you know,
you
they're not gonna
anymore.
want you. You know, they're gonna want to be playing with their friends,
Get
sleeping
out of my
over,
room.
all that shit. You know.
Yeah, so that's why I cherish every moment with them, even the bad ones.
Or unless you're
Because-
lucky. And some kids still they don't turn out that way.
Yeah.
You know, like Chloe isn't like that. Like Chloe, she's in her room and she wants to kick it, but sometimes she'll come down and hang out and whatnot. Like, you know, you just let them do what they want to do, and that's how they stay happy. Don't fucking bother them.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, just cherish every moment, especially while they're so young, good and bad, because they're only small for so long.
Yeah.
You know, and then, yeah, later down the road, they might not want to spend every second with you anymore. So, oh, actually, there's something that I wanted to, I don't know if we talked about this before, like off camera and stuff. When it comes to family, extended family, like if someone doesn't like you but wants to like be in your kid's life, would you let them be in your kid's life? Like if they have like a vendetta against you, or they don't like you and you have beef, but they want to be in your kid's life, would you let them?
mean, if they can keep the problem between me and that person, and me and you, then that's fine. But if you start bringing on to him saying, oh, well, your dad is, this and that, and he comes to me and he say, why did so and so say this about you? Then it's a different story. And then like all the, it's family is family, but I still give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, I'll trust you to, be with to play with, to be around them. But if I hear one thing, then it's a wrap. Because my child is going to come back to me and say, why did she tell me to keep this a secret from you? Or this, and I'm like, what did she say? Or he say, oh, they said this and you're this and that. And I'm like, okay, that's it. Like, I don't feel like I should be keeping my child away from people. Like, if me and my mom weren't talking, like how we were before a long time ago, and I had it and we had him, and if we weren't talking, I would still let her know, like, hey, we had a child. I would like you to come meet. This thing between us is between us. But with him, like, I'm not gonna keep him away from you. You're gonna be a grandma, and I want you to be there for him. But between you and I, there's things that need to be fixed. But that's if we weren't talking.
Yeah.
But we already fixed that a long time ago. So that's what it is. What it is now. And, she still, she sees him and we always hang out and whatnot. But
peekaboo. To
answer your question, yes, I would do it. But like I said, only to a certain extent.
I feel like we're the opposite, but only because from my own experience. I think from my own experience, I would say no. Just because from what I experienced with, there's some people who don't like my mom. So then when I'm around, they're kind of just like mad dogging me and shit. And, not treating me too poorly, but, make me feel like I'm not wanted.
Yeah.
For example, my stepmom, I felt like she never really liked me. So, every time I was around, or she didn't like my mom, or she didn't like me, I don't know, but I just feel like if someone doesn't like my mom, they're not gonna like me. And I felt like that's kind of always a thing within like what I've experienced. So for me, I would say no.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like you and me are different when it comes to that things. Like,
but also I just need to see it.
When like something bad happens to you, you're just like, I'm cutting you off. And it doesn't matter like what type of bad is. Like if it's just a disrespect to you, like you cut them off.
Like I give you the benefit of the doubt, but I think it's only to a certain extent. Like if I see you like really mistreating my son, then it's like, all right, like done.
Yeah.
Just because you don't like me doesn't mean you can treat him like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that's just one thing because I've experienced it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the good thing about like bringing this up. Like we both have different opinions on it. They're not bad opinions, But at the end of the day, if you said you didn't want this person to see, you didn't want someone to see him, or oh my god,
what are you eating?
You didn't want them to see him, or for example, like like your stepdad. You don't want that. Like, of course, I'm not gonna. If you're not comfortable with it,
he's gonna eat you.
If you're not comfortable with it,
hold on. Sorry, he had his mouth open and he put it against your chin and he went.
If you're not comfortable with it, then I'm not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
From what I know about like what happened between you guys and all that, like I already know that.
Yeah.
No, if you until the day you say like it's okay, then I'm gonna be like, okay, cool, it's okay.
Yeah,
but
I think also too it's respecting your partner's decisions, like, and you can always talk about it too. Like, hey, the reason why, this and this, X, Y, and Z. It's always talk to them about it instead of just like, no, I said no because I said no. Like, let your partner know exactly why so they can understand from your point of view and, you know, always respect it. Yeah. So, I think that's another thing. He's crazy.
Come on.
Who's a crazy boy?
Yeah. So. You know, like I said, back to everything is a partnership. You know, like you got to respect each other's views, but most of the time is whatever she says kind of goes. You know, like if she doesn't want him to meet that person, then it is what it is. Yeah. Maybe get the other person to understand that. Like, you know, look, you treated her bad, and she doesn't want him around you. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's my family. You know, like. Yeah. Maybe fix things, apologize. I don't know what the fuck you guys can do to fix it, but you do it. If you don't want to, then oh well.
I think it's just for me too, because I feel like I have a strong intuition. So like if someone gives me a bad vibe, I'm just like, oh, that's a no. Or like keep it very limited, you know. So I think that's another thing. I just feel like I have a strong intuition, and so if I don't want that kind of negativity around me, then I wouldn't want that negativity around him, you know. Yeah. But I mean, I give people the benefit of the doubt, but the second I see it's just like really bad, I'm just like, all right, we don't need this. You know, I don't need this for my family, not just for me because I don't want it, but like for sure, like, cause I know like if something's stressing me out to the point where I'm like mad, now it's like, oh, now do I have to step in to like do something about it, you know? And I don't want that stress on you either. So that's why it's either limit or cut it off for real. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's a partnership. So that's why I let you know if something bothers me or something like that. Yeah. That's why we said we're getting better at communicating. Things.
And I mean, hopefully you guys understand, you know, what we're trying to say. Like this is really us on our first, you know, experience as being a parent too, but
like we sound strict.
Yeah. But you might not go through what we are going through, but if you do or you have a similar situation, like, you know,
it's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be cool. So, you know, we're just trying to say that and give you insight of what's going on with us. And then another thing I do want to say and talk about is it has to still do with the presence thing, but being a role model to your kid, you know, the last thing you want, or the last thing I would want, is for someone else, some other man to be his role model. Oh, this, you know, my teacher is, nothing wrong with being, you know, teacher role model, but, you know, or just some random person or superhero or something saying like, oh, you know, that's my role model. Like when he has like show and tell, or people ask him, you know, certain questions, I want him to be like, you know, my dad is that person, or my mom is that person. My mom works very hard and my dad works very hard to get me whatever I want. And that's what, you know, I'm working for. And that's how I feel in all dads should be, you know, work hard to be that person
for your kid,
your kid, you know, like me, it's hard for me to work a 9 to 5. And I'm not saying nothing's wrong with the 9 to 5, because a lot of people enjoy working with that. But me personally, I always knew that I can't do it. The same way I couldn't pay attention in school is the same way I can't really enjoy working 9 to 5. So I always knew like I needed to do something. I need my own business. And, you know, before him, it was always, you know, I wanted my own business. I was doing my own businesses and trying to be better and working hard. And then now I have him, and it's more like I really need it, because now I really want to stay home. Not because I don't like going to work. It's because I want to be with him and be there to learn things with him and be more present. And so, you know, that's why, you know, right now I'm doing so much to achieve that, starting so much to achieve that. And another thing is, if you're afraid to fail, that should be something that you shouldn't be afraid of, because failing failing is you're not actually failing, you're progressing. Because like you were telling me, like you learned a skill, it didn't work out, but you can take that skill to the next thing, and you never know that when whatever you learned in that might help your next skill or the next job that you do.
Yeah.
So
you keep gaining more knowledge.
Yeah, more experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And me understanding that failure is not an option, I keep going. I keep going hard.
You keep learning and gaining new skills and gaining more knowledge. So it's like everything you do is just like a step further.
Yeah, and now I know I can't fail because I have him and I want more. So me be thinking that way, it's not gonna get me anywhere or get him anywhere or whatever the case is. So having to being like scared of failing, that should be something that you shouldn't be afraid of, because what's the worst that can happen? Your business fails, like you can't, it doesn't mean you can't start another. Like whatever,
going.
just keep going and work hard and just don't be afraid to excel. Life shouldn't just be in a standstill right there. Like if you enjoy working 9 to 5 and you have a good fucking job, then fucking enjoy that shit. Like be happy working there. You got a good salary, whatever. But if you're someone who hates working and wants their own shit, it's not gonna work if you are not doing nothing about it. And that's how I am with now. Like I don't like working, but at least I'm doing something about it to make sure that I get the opportunity to stay home with you guys and do things and just be more present. So
you're working towards your goal.
Yeah, work towards your goal.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Go for it.
And I don't want to keep going off the tracks with this, but the whole point that I'm saying that is like because I want him to realize, to see that damn, my dad worked for this. He worked hard. He went through a lot of bullshit. He failed. He went into debt. He went into this, and for me to have a better life, and like I want him to understand that. And I want him to be like, I want to be just like that. Like I want to make sure that I'm better than him, and I want him to be better than me.
Yeah.
And I want him to understand the struggles that we went through, and I want him to figure it out, and I want him to just be like, well, my dad did this and he fucked up doing that, so I know not to do that.
It. Yeah.
And I know he fucked up because he told me. So I'm learning from him, and I'm gonna do better. And that's what I want. I want him to do better.
Yeah.
So, don't be afraid to fail. And moms too, same thing, don't be afraid to fail. You're not failing with anything. You just keep learning, and keep progressing, because there's no such thing as failing. Yeah, you get it on a report card and shit like that you failed, but the next report card, what happens? You worked hard to get that C or that B or that A. Like,
yeah. I mean, every day is a new day to learn.
It's all work.
Yeah. You just gotta keep going, keep learning. Anything you learn, good or bad, it's still like, use it. Use it for the good, I guess you can say. I think one last thing that I can think of right now is, things that are mentally challenging. How I cope with things is because I don't really have enough time for myself throughout the day. If I have quiet time, or, if he's able to play with himself and stuff like that, the most I can do right now is just take deep breaths and like try to calm your mind, calm everything down, and, rest assure yourself pretty much, or not rest assure, reassure yourself that it's okay. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to be scared. It's okay, that things aren't working out right then and there. I always just tell myself things are going to be okay. pretty much like take deep breaths, and then when you exhale, it's like exhaling, you know, the frustrations and negativity and all that stuff. I think that's, for me, that's the best thing that I can do, since I don't have that much time to myself, you know. So I mean, it's not bad, it's what works, you know. So if anyone, I feel like if anyone is going through, you know, things mentally, just know that it's okay. You're gonna be okay. For new moms, you're doing an amazing job. New dads, you guys are doing amazing as well. You know,
if you're trying,
everything is new. Yeah.
You know, you can't be doing amazing if you're not doing anything.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying, like, mentally, like, yeah, if you're struggling mentally, like, just know that you're doing amazing. Your kid is gonna love you no matter what. Keep doing what you're doing, as in you're doing good.
Yeah.
And being present and not being an asshole and abusive, but you know, but yeah, you know, everything is new. We're all new to this. Older generations, they have, you know, how they taught us, but it's a new world now. Yeah. So
and you also, you know, you want to do things your way. You don't want to keep listening to people. Like, just do things your way. That's the best thing you can do, because listening to somebody is just like, it's not the full experience, you know. It's like you want to experience your own way.
Yeah, now you're living
somebody else's life,
their footsteps.
Yeah,
in their footsteps.
Somebody else's life, pretty much. Like, you know, and that's what you don't want to do. But and there was something else I wanted. It might be a little long one, but and I know we're talking about, like, kind of like the bad stuff, not really bad, but I want to talk about good stuff. Like, now I want to talk about
jump.
cherishing these moments, you know. With me, like, watching him grow is like I don't sound like cheesy, but it's magical. You know, like, seeing him from when he was just like this small to now him being like this big and 15 pounds, like, it is crazy, because, you know, when he was that small, I was able to just do this and just hold him, and he felt like, you know, like he didn't weigh nothing. And I used to hold him with my arm and do this, like, whatever. And then now it's like, come on, dude, you're too heavy now. Like, but it doesn't bother me. And just watching him, you know, grow and hit his milestones super fucking early. You know, he came out of you with his head high. His neck was strong. Everybody was like, wow, his neck he's holding up his neck already. Like, he just came out and his neck was just already, you know, strong as hell.
Surprisingly, he didn't cry like crazy.
He didn't cry. You know, he was just sitting there.
Chilling.
And then not too long ago, he just started learning how to crawl. And we're like, oh, when did they start learning how to crawl? Usually around, like, what? It was like 8-9 months or some shit like that.
I think like 5.
5?
I don't know. It's very...
I just know he crawled pretty early.
Yeah.
So, and there was a lot of things that other people see him do, and they're just like, oh, he's not supposed to be doing that right now. Yeah, like, why is he doing that, you know? And he's always been standing. Like, always, he's always been wanting to stand, and it's just amazing, you know? And I know a lot of, like, moms or just people in general, like, the toddler stuff flies by quick. So, you know, make sure you live in the moment and stuff. And I'm always in the moment with him. But I always think about, like, the times where I can't wait till the day, you know, I walk in the door and he comes running, you know, runs to me and, you know, wants me to pick him up and stuff like that. Like, those are days I can't wait for. Like I said, I'm in the moment now and I'm enjoying everything, him growing and recognizing us and all of that. But I'm also more excited to see him when he has his first steps, walking without us holding him, when he gets his first little bike and just going crazy and all of that shit. And, you know, that's a good part of being a first-time parent or expecting, because you're gonna see that. And like I said, like, the happiness you get from him is a different type of happiness, you know. Like, you know, there's money, money can buy you happiness, and okay, you have money, you're happy, but I feel like this is way better than money. you know, this is way better than money because this is true happiness. Money can only get you so much. And even with money, you're still sad because
now you want the best.
You want the best. And because this person has more money, you don't have that much, you know. But anyways, you know, watching him grow is great. And I hope you guys enjoy it too, you know. Yeah. That's what we're saying, back to the present shit. Like, you got to be present because you can miss certain things and you're never going to get that back. You know, even though, like, his first steps, like, that's what I'm trying to see those first steps. I'm not trying to be at work and just be like, there's a video, like, oh my God, look at his first steps. And I'm like, man, but I mean, it's still good. It's still cool, but you want to be there, you know? So just enjoy it, you know, stay off your phones if you can while playing with him or whatever, or her, and just have fun. Yeah. You know.
And don't be so hard on yourself. You know, all babies are different. Some can be a little bit more challenging, but it's all part of it. It's all part of life. And, you know, it's your baby. Yeah. You know, you live, you learn, and keep learning. But yeah, cherish.
Hungry?
But yeah, just cherish every moment because they're not small forever, you know. And oh my goodness.
Yeah, they're not small forever, and yeah, I don't know. It's just it's kind of parenthood. It's like it's
so different.
It's an emotional thing. It's a touchy thing. It's so different. It's really hard to talk about. It's more like you have to be there to understand.
You just have to be there.
You just have to be there. And that's one thing that if you do get something out of this is like learning to just be there. You know, I understand people want to hear other people's experiences and stuff like that. But if I can say one thing is just be there. Like, be there and understand, be patient, be protective. This is your family. You know, I was gonna say you only get one family, but certain, you know, you really situation doesn't work out, you can have another family. But I always want to think like this is one family that I have, and I want to keep that, and I want to keep this family for as long as possible, you know. And yeah, it's like I said, it's a different type of feeling, and it's just something you have to experience and have fun with it. You know, there's a lot of shit that's gonna come with it, but I don't like to think that's that way. Best part. Yeah, I like to think about the positive shit. You know, all the, instead of me like I need to buy expensive stuff for me, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go buy him a car. When it's, you know, I want to go buy him a car. I want to go buy him this so we can get ready to push him, or he can follow us on his little bike and stuff like that. That's the stuff I'm waiting for and I'm gonna cherish a lot. And also taking pictures and videos, you know, take a lot of those.
As much as I feel like now that, I mean, not even just technology, we're still using disposable and film cameras to take pictures and stuff, but you know, as long as you're still living in the moment with them, take those pictures. And you know, I mean, our parents were always taking pictures, so yeah, live in the moment.
Have to buy a separate video camera. Yeah. How they used to in tapes, you have your pictures on your phone and videos on your phone. Yeah. Switch over to the next thing, and boom, it's right there. You know, so ouch. All that is something that you wanna do. Make sure you do, because it's true. They're not gonna be small forever. So as they're growing, at least you have pictures and videos to look back and say,
and also show them.
And them too. They want to see. You know, they for sure want to see all that.
And also going out and like, you know, trying to enjoy other things. It's like, oh, you know, oh, they won't remember it, but it's for your memory too. It's not, you know, it's their childhood. They might not remember it because they're so small, but like, how about for you? Like, know that this is for your memories as well.
They're going to want, you know, there comes times when they want to hear stories. And you go, oh yeah, you remember the time we went to, you know, there's this one time we went to Disneyland. I'm sure you're not gonna remember because you're only 7 months, but you know, we went here and we saw Mickey Mouse and like, you know, you had the biggest smile, you know, and that might make them happy. Like, oh wow, like I wish I would have remembered that. Like, it's not for them to remember, it's for you to remember. Until they can remember, then it's a different story. But at this time, it's age right now, it's for you to remember. Everything you do together is for you to remember, so that that's stuck in your head, and it would always be stuck in your head, so you can always tell these stories to your children.
I forgot where I saw it, but it's like a post saying that you know, when you create memories in their childhood and they see you explaining to them like how that day went or something like that, like your kids can see that in you, like that joy of like reliving that moment. And so like the kids can see, like your kids can see that in you. Like I can see how my parents are telling me this story. It's like they're so full of joy, you know. So it's like, you know, things like that.
Yeah, it's always fun to hear these stories. Like I always like hearing stories from my mom and my dad about their past and stuff they did that I'm not gonna really talk about because it's not good for, you know, the internet. But just hearing those things is it's like crazy because I look at them and I'm just like what? Like you guys are doing that? That's wild. Like I can't believe it. And you know, from them saying, you know, you were born here and then we moved to Honduras and we lived there, and you know, you had the life, you know, we had nannies and stuff like that, and all of that extra stuff, and then coming back and then just seeing the they were on the top, hearing how they were on top, and then hearing the downfall. Like, you know, like it's pretty crazy because it's true. You know, sometimes we like, you know, you'll get up there and you'll be up there for a while, and then all of a sudden your downfall, and that downfall will kind of, it'll test you and see like, are you going to stay down here or are you going to try to get back up? And so yeah, like listening to those stories, like those memories they had is great to tell your kids, and it's going to be cool when we get to be able to tell him about stuff we went through and struggles and living situations and you know, all this extra shit. And yeah, so don't listen to those people who will be like, oh, let's not go there because it's expensive and he's not even gonna remember. It's like, well, then you don't have to go. We'll go for us. Like, I don't care, it's our family. And you know, that's why my mom took us to Disneyland, because she was like, who cares if he's young? Like, you know, he's gonna look at new things and we'll enjoy it. You know, it's a memory. So, num 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 num. But yeah, I think parenthood is such a emotional roller coaster. You go through everything, frustration. I mean, like, I feel like your kids is the only thing that can piss you off and then make you happy within like 5 seconds. They can slap you and pinch you and then kiss you in like a span of 10 seconds. So, you know, yeah, it's an experience.
Yeah, it's fun. I think becoming a new parent and stuff has changed a lot in a good way. You know, even the hard struggles and stuff like that, like it's okay. Yeah. You know, we live and learn. I think I take things a little bit more lightly now than I used to before. You know, like if someone were to say something, I'm just like, oh, like I'm so stuck in that moment. And now it's just like, I can't be mad all day because I have someone that's looking up to me. Yeah. You know, I can't just have him see me angry all the time and stuff like that. So it does change you for the better, at least for us. Yeah, you know, so definitely. So all in all, you know, it's great. It's fun. Don't be scared. You know, don't listen to people trying to scare you like, oh, it's gonna be hard. Duh, it's gonna be hard. Yeah. Like, it's your first time, of course it's gonna be hard. But you know, have fun. Enjoy it. You know, it's a whole new chapter in your life with you, with your partner. You know, you
just pretty much I would just say just have fun.
Live in the moment.
Live in the moment. You're going to have ups and downs, but don't let that distract you from the real goal. And yeah, you know, first time parents, expecting parents, or existing parents, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I hope we said some good things.
If we missed anything that you feel like we should have talked about, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we kind of hit all the points that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, with this one, we wanted to make sure that we talked about, you know, certain things and elaborated a little bit more, because, yeah, I know people want to hear that and want to hear, you know, our struggles and how we feel and think. So, you know, we tried our best to explain it to you guys, and we hope it, you know, it works. And like she said, if you have any more questions, if you have questions, personal questions that you want to ask her, you can ask on the Instagram, you know, or you can ask on her personal, whatever the case is, mine. You know, we're here to help.
As much as we can.
As much as we can. We love to help.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, just whoa.
Hold up, Folio. Wow.
So yeah, you know, like I said, you have questions, don't be afraid to reach out to us. You know, we're no judgment zone over here. You know,
Just a little bit. I'm just kidding.
No, we're not gonna judge you. You know,
we all go through struggles, so it's
everybody's different.
Nothing new.
And we're here to help. We want to help. That's why we created this podcast, because we want to help you guys. We want to see if we can supply advice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also, what I want to add too is, you know, if you guys have any stories. If you guys have any stories that you want us to talk about on here, say, and, you know, see our reactions or anything like that, that'd be kind of fun too.
Yeah, if you have topics you want us to talk about, let us know, because eventually we're gonna run out of topics. So we want other topics to talk about. Yeah. This is not the only time we're gonna talk about parenthood. We're always gonna have something. You know, every other episode maybe, but we're just going to keep giving you our experiences and what we learned new, if we learned anything new, and whatnot. So, yeah, you know, everything is going to be in our description, our Instagrams. You know, we have a link tree because we're on Spotify, we're on Buzzsprout, we're on, obviously, YouTube. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram. It'll link you to all of that. So, yeah, you know, check it out. Continue to like, share, subscribe, follow. You know, that helps us out a lot. You know, that inspires us actually to continue to make podcasts or episodes, not podcasts, make episodes, because it's fun, you know.
Yeah. And
we're going to still do it no matter what, but you know, it just gives us an extra push once we see those numbers go up, because although we have 16 subscribers now, I wasn't even thinking we were going to have 16 subscribers. I thought we were going to get like 5 the most. And so seeing that is just like, oh, hell yeah. Like,
we really appreciate it.
Yeah,
you know, I was very skeptical about it, thinking like, oh, I mean, there's so many podcasts out there, and I feel like no one's really going to listen to us. But seeing your guys' support, like, you know, made me believe that we can really do this and stuff like that. So
thank you. You know, thank you. We appreciate it. Eventually we're gonna get down and more into detail about certain things, subscriptions and stuff, to, you know, eventually do clothing giveaways and, like, you know, for showing your support and whatnot. So be on the lookout for that as well. And so once again, please share, subscribe, like, comment.
Questions, comments, concerns,
Instagrams, you know.
Yeah.
We have our Instagrams or TikToks, anything. Just, you know, don't be afraid to message us. We're here to help if we can help. And yeah. So thank you again.
Thank you.
We're out.
Bam, bam, bam.
Oh. Bam, bam, bam. Which one? What do you say?